Every iPhone with a USB-C port, Netflix paying for the data it produces, and more privacy for the user. The European Union is fighting what it seems to be the unlimited power of big tech to give it back to the users, and they seem to be fairly successful. What does this mean for users in the rest of the world? How are these bureaucrats shaping the internet of the future? Big tech is big. Almost 57% of internet traffic is generated by Google, Facebook, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. These companies have a gatekeeper function, and that is what the EU is going against. With new laws and hefty fines, authorities want to also strengthen the user's position. But can EU lawmakers really achieve anything? And what about the rest of the world? Just this week, the European Union decided that from 2024 on, every device sold in its territory needs to come with a USB-C charging port. That means even Apple needs to say goodbye to its own Lightning port. And that's good for us users because we don't need to get a new cable every time we get a new device. And that's also good for the environment because according to the European Union estimates, chargers make up to 11,000 tons of e-waste each year in Europe alone. That's a lot. The EU has already managed to rein in big tech in different aspects. Let's see. More privacy. The EU General Data Protection Regulation, the GDPR, from 2018 became an international reference for more user privacy. They also curb market dominance. The Digital Markets Act, the DMA, is supposed to weaken the market dominance of big tech. Hefty fines up to 10% of a company's worldwide annual turnover are a powerful measure. Take Google as an example. Their fine could be around 25 billion euros. That's gotta hurt. No more hate. The Digital Services Act, the DSA, obliges platforms to fight illegal content such as hate speech and fake news. They have to cooperate with the European Union in this, and they can even be audited by independent bodies. Otherwise, they might get in trouble. The European Union has special laws that are targeted at big tech because they apply to companies with at least 45 million active monthly users and at least 75 billion euros in market capitalization. The gatekeepers, in other words. But the European Union is going for more. They want to set another global standard. Experts assume that regulators in Brussels could soon ask big tech to pay for network costs. The logic is the following. If a Netflix show is streamed by millions of Europeans and it's generating a lot of traffic, well then Netflix would have to help pay for the infrastructure to deliver that product. And the decisions made in Europe have global consequences. Since 2018, data protection has become more and more important also outside the EU. Brazil's general law for the protection of personal data, China's personal information protection law, and India's soon-to-be introduced personal data protection bill are largely modeled after the EU's privacy law, the GDPR. And it is most likely that device manufacturers will switch to USB-C ports globally when they have to make smartphones and tablets this way for the European market anyway. But somehow it seems only the European Union is fighting big tech. Why? Well, EU lawmakers obviously have a lot of stamina and a large tradition of regulating every aspect of society. Europe has been handing out antitrust fines to big tech companies for nearly a decade now. Google alone got more than 8 billion euros in fines by the EU's Commissioner for Competition, Margrethe Vestager. But the company is still contesting all fines. Well, big tech has the resources to fight the fines for years and years. The European Union has the people to keep fighting back. So what do you think? Is the European Union changing the internet for the better for all of us? Or is it just the EU's usual urge to regulate everything?